Welcome to the regular council meeting of Tuesday, January 14th, 2025 at 4:40 p.m. in council chambers and via Zoom. We acknowledge that the town of Kirkland Lake is located on the traditional territory of Algonquin peoples, including Beaver House First Nation and unceded territory of other Indigenous peoples. We recognize the presence of the Algonquin, Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Cree, and Métis people in our community since time immemorial and honor their stewardship and care of these lands. We hereby affirm our continued commitment and responsibility to reconciliation. Call to order at a moment of silence. Item number 2, approval of the agenda. May I have a mover? Councillor Ranger, and seconded by Councillor Chapman.
Be resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of council held on Tuesday, January 14th, 2025 be approved as circulated.
All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item carried unanimous. Item number 3, declaration of pecuniary interest. None noted. Item number 4, petitions and delegations. There are none this evening. Item number 5, acceptance of minutes and recommendations. 5.1, council minutes. May I have a mover? Councillor Owens, seconded by Councillor Kiley.
Be resolved that council approve the minutes of the following meetings: minutes of the regular meeting of council held December 17th, 2024.
All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item carried unanimous. 5.2, committees of council minutes. May I have a mover? Councillor Ranger, seconded by Councillor Owen.
Be it resolved that council adopt the minutes of the following meetings: minutes of the Kirkland Lake Committee of Adjustment held July 30th, 2024, the minutes of the Tech Pioneer Residence Committee of Management held May 27th, 2024.
All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item carried unanimous. Item 5.3, local and regional board minutes. May I have a mover? Councillor Ranger, seconded by Councillor Kiley.
Be it resolved that council receive the minutes of the following meetings: minutes of the District of Temiskaming Social Services Administration Board of Directors held November 13th, 2024, and minutes of the Temiskaming Health Unit Board of Health held November 6th, 2024.
All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item carried unanimous. Item number 6, reports of municipal officers and communications. Item 6.1, OKPIs update 2024 quarter 3. May I have a mover? Councillor Owens, seconded by Councillor Shava, and this will be presented by Stephanie Dell, Strategic Initiatives and Performance Coordinator. And Madam Clerk, you can read the recommendation.
Be resolved that report number 2025 CAO 001 entitled OKPIs Update 2024 quarter 3 be received.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Good evening, through you, Madam Mayor, to members of council. Before you is the quarter 3 OKPIs for 2024. These OKPIs ensure transparency, accountability, and provide council and the general public with quarterly insight to the operational KPIs tracked by our administration. They reflect the commitment to performance and adapting of priorities that evolve throughout each of the departments. New for this update is quarter 2 totals, along with the breakdown monthly for quarter 3. And in a future council meeting, there will be a report with all the summaries for quarter 1 through 4 of 2024, so that we can see if there's any trends or analysis or any changes that happened throughout 2024, and we'll continue that into 2025 OKPIs as well. And if there's any specific questions on any of the statistics presented, we do have the director's chair that can answer them.
Perfect. Councillor Ranger.
Through you, Madam Mayor, it's not a question, but I would like to say I really appreciate the KPIs and the breakdown, as this is my first term on council and it will be going into our 3rd budget. I really appreciate these breakdowns because it makes it much more analytical for me to be able to make decisions as we get closer to the upcoming budget and how those independent departments have been moving through the different quarters. So I really appreciate them and I hope that they continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further from members of council? I was just very interested in the numbers, of bylaw and property standards. And I was just hoping that maybe, Dan could come up and just give a quick overview of the highlights, if that's possible. Because that is something that we get questioned about quite often as council members, is enforcement of bylaw and community standards. And the numbers, over the past few months have just been incredible, and I think they deserve to be highlighted.
Yeah, through you, Madam Mayor, to the rest of council. Our department took quite a large project on this year with public engagement, public education, and we have had great results. That coupled with the introduction of the Kirkland Lake Beautification Committee, or not committee group, a community group, we've really seen a huge corner turned with actioning our property standards informals. Our process is robust. The resident receives a comprehensive report of the issues with the property and how they can be rectified. So we've really engaged a lot more with the residents, and we are seeing a huge trend upward in cases that are resolved. And we are going to strive to bring that forward to 2025.
Thank you, sir.
Take any other questions?
Anything specific? Councillor Shabbat?
Yeah, to you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. And I have questions about two items here. One is under permits. I see that compared to that, for commercial permits, we have nothing for July, August, and September. And residential permits, we have, well, it takes up in September. So, and I know we're not in, we don't have any data. This number sustain, that four that we all of a sudden got in September, is it right on, or is it going ahead? Are they going ahead for the residential permit? Is it for buildings anyways, or what is it for?
Well, if it's through you, Madam Mayor, to Councillor Shabbat, it could vary as to what it's for. It could be a renovation of a building. It could be an addition. It's quite broad. What we saw this year is a little bit of a later start to our projects. We also, in our department, experienced some quite substantially large projects that you will see in the Q4, a huge jump. They take quite a substantial amount of time to do plans reviews. We're talking complex buildings, not so much the residential side of things. But I will add, while you ask that question, because we've been receiving a lot of feedback, is just the amount of public education that's needed when it comes to what needs a permit and what doesn't need a permit. And we will continue in 2025 to educate the public about the process that does exist here in Kirkland Lake and has for a long time.
From the follow-up, Madam Chair, but just the four that we have there, how many of those are new builds? Are there any new builds within that four numbers that you have here?
To you, Madam Mayor, those would not be new builds.
No, my second one,
Yes.
let me airport. I see the airport, the usage is pretty much 1.1 and mostly in
Sorry.
August.
Sorry, we'll call, we'll allow this director to exit.
Oh, run record, run.
Thank you, Director, for your input. I do appreciate
Okay,
that.
no.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Director Forte, you're up. Thank you for joining us, sir. So sorry, Councillor Shabbat, can you proceed with your question? Yes.
Thank you to you, Madam Chair. And again, as you rightfully said, we're looking at the budget later on down the road, and we're looking at all the health events of the organizations and where we can see through in terms of cost cutting. So I'm looking at the airport use here, and I see that most of them are pretty much in the month of August, mostly corporate usage. I was really surprised. I thought we have more medevac usage than corporate usage. And then can you explain to us how come we go from 26 in August and then it down to 3 in September for corporate usage? Is that something that's the trend? We got more in August and then it will taper off in September?
Through you, Mayor, to Councilor Shambo, I would have to take a look at the specific flights and what they were for exactly. I don't have an answer for you
Okay.
for tonight, but I can definitely get you an answer.
Yeah, it just looked like a very sharp drop to me, 26 to 3. That's from the 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Any further questions for any of the directors regarding the OKPIs? Do we require Madam Clerk to read the item again? No, thank you very much. All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item accepted. Unanimous. Item 6.2, 2025 proposed budget guideline and schedule. Can I have a mover? Councillor Owen, and seconded by Councillor Ranger. This item will be presented by Lori Crocker, Treasurer, and Madam Clerk, can you read the item?
Be it resolved that report number 2025 Corp 001 entitled 2025 Proposed Budget Guidelines and Schedule be received, and that the 2025 budget schedule be approved as presented, and finally that council directs the treasurer to prepare and submit an operating capital rate supported budget for 2025.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Crocker. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and through you to all council. So you have the report in front of you. It's very similar to what you've seen before. It's trying to lay out a timeline that we can all agree on tonight, if possible, to get the budget in front of you and get the process moving and finalized. I will make one little kind of side comment. A couple of the dates in March, I believe it is, might collide with the Temiskaming Municipal Association meetings. So we may end up moving them around a little bit, but it's still the intention is to get this finished by the end of March. It's just a question of which days we slot those budget deliberation meetings in. So those ones might end up being moved around a little bit. I guess overall, my comment is, and you've heard me say this before, the budget process is a very labor intensive, very complicated. You know, we don't just roll the numbers forward and put them in front of you. There's several levels of back and forth iterations of it. I think I'm on my third one now, my third official one, like within my piece of software and stuff. So it just takes time. It takes time for us to do it right. And, you know, budgets are often contentious, so we want to get it right. I'd be happy to answer any questions or comments.
Any questions from the table, comments? None noted. All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item carried unanimous. Thank you, sir. Item number 6.3, interim tax bylaw, moved by Councillor Shabba, seconded by Councillor Kiley. It will also be presented by our treasurer, Madam Clerk.
Be it resolved that report number 2025 Corp 002 entitled interim tax bylaw be received, and finally that a bylaw authorizing the interim tax levy for 2025 be brought forward for 2 readings on January 14th, 2025.
Thank you. Mr. Crocker, you may proceed.
Mayor, through you, council. You've seen this report and this form of this bylaw in the past. This is necessary so that we can keep our cash flows moving until such time as we finish the budget process. So by passing the bylaw, it gives us the opportunity to bill 50% of last year's tax levy until such time as we finalize the current year's tax levy. Again, it's primarily a cash flow issue to make sure we're not putting our bank account under any stress until the budget process is finished. Once again, any questions or comments?
Thank you, sir. Questions or comments? Councillor Owens?
Through you, Madam Mayor, just for the residents that have their mortgages changed this year where the town takes it on, has the town been made aware of which mortgages now, the letters have to be sent out.
Yeah.
If it makes sense.
through Madam Mayor. So we're not sending out any kind of letters warning them of that, the banks.
Or the bill, just,
Yeah, no, the bills, they would have always got a copy of the bill. Through, either through the bank or by request. Sorry, I wasn't finished.
okay,
So, if your bank didn't give it to you, you're welcome to come see us. Yes, you'll get it by mail, as long as the bank has told us that you're no longer in the mortgage system. To have your taxes paid through the mortgage system.
Follow that.
so. It may be wise for the town maybe to put out some type of public information for those of us that. I've never had to pay a bill before in my life, and I'm ready for it, that's not the problem, it's just I've never had, my bill always came at the end of the year saying paid in full. I was happy to see that come in.
Through Madam Mayor. We could certainly put something out, we could put it out through one of our normal kind of social media channels. This has been going on for years. Banks are, every year, new banks pull back from doing this process, so. I understand your concern and I understand fully how sometimes it surprises people when they get that bill and they've already assumed that it was paid and, so yeah, I've taken note of it and we'll definitely share it through the normal type of public release channels.
Counselor Shabbat?
Yeah, to you, Madam Chair, to the treasurer. I'm aware of one bank that has indicated to everybody that they're not gonna do that anymore, TD. But all the banks are in the same situation too, to the best of your knowledge.
Through Madam Mayor to Councillor Shabbat, no, some are still doing it.
Okay.
The number is dwindling every year. They all, they tend to be, they're like a pack animal, the banks. When one of them does it, the rest start following.
Oh, okay, all right.
So, yeah, sorry.
Counselor Owen?
Yes, through you, your worship. I might suggest, since a lot of people will be paying their taxes directly for the first time, that any release we put out would put out the options for payment. Because some people, it's gonna be a big shock, they're gonna say, oh, I owe this much money every third, when they could be paying it off every month or whatever our policies allow. Because they wouldn't have had to worry about this in the past and they won't know their options necessarily. It's just a suggestion, make it easier for the ratepayers.
Anything further from members of council? Do we need the motion read again? Perfect. All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item also carried unanimous. Thank you, sir. Item number 7, considerations of notice of motion. There are none this evening. Item number 8, introduction, reading, and consideration of bylaws. 8.1 bylaw number 25-001, moved by Councillor Ranger, seconded by Councillor Owen. Madam Clerk? Yes, Owen, sorry.
Thank you. Be it resolved that the following bylaw be read, numbered, passed, signed by the mayor and municipal clerk, and sealed the corporation be affixed thereto. Bylaw number 25-001, being a bylaw to provide for interim tax levy and to provide for the payment of taxes and to provide for penalty and interest.
All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item passed unanimous. Item number 9, questions from council to staff. There were none submitted prior to the meeting. Item number 10, notices of motion. None noted this evening. Item number 11, councilors' reports. 11.1, updates from members of council. May I have a mover? Councillor Ranger, seconded by Councillor Owens. Do any members of council have anything to share about community ongoings, meetings, etc.? Councillor Owen?
Yes, through you, your worship. And I had to confirm with the mayor because it's been so long since we had a meeting that I hadn't previously given this report. At the last DSAB meeting, DSAB's in its budget process. Currently, DSAB is looking at a ballpark increase of 3 to 4%. In other Northern Ontario DSABs, the increase is ranging from 4% to 6.3%. I, of course, did my usual, yeah, I did my usual, we can't afford that, which I may say jokingly, but seriously, I did ask the Director of Finance to come back with a DSAB budget of it with a 0% increase. And the board voted in favor of that. So the board will have options to look at. And I want to clarify one thing for council and for the residents. When you sit on an outside board like DSAB, you are a member of that board. You're representing Kirkland Lake as a counselor, that's why you're there. But you're sitting on the board as a DSAB board member. And therefore you are required to do what you consider is best for DSAB. So in other words, I want a 0% increase for the town of Kirkland Lake. But if the report comes back that that's gonna be at the detriment of DSAB, then I will vote for an increase. And I just want to make that clear because I'm sure I was clear of that when I first went on DSAB, but I'm well aware of it since I've been coming up to my 0%. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Owens.
Through you, Madam Mayor, I wish that bit of information was shared with all municipalities that sit on these regional boards. I had the opportunity to participate in the first ever meeting of Northeastern Public Health Unit. No, sorry, Northeastern Public Health. I think they dropped the unit part of the name. It was on January 1st at 1 o'clock. It was not how I had envisioned spending my New Year's Day. It was interesting. The purpose of the meeting was to make sure that the lights stayed on in all offices, that everybody got paid last week. And I'm assuming I haven't heard any otherwise saying that they didn't, so I think everything went smoothly. And they did reassure that it wasn't to cut jobs, it's to better offer services within Northeastern Ontario, and look forward to what's to come in that board.
Thank you. Anything further? One of my favorite roles as mayor is I get to celebrate community members for their achievements. Pardon me. And though I don't hear of all the achievements of every single community member, I do and I'm truly honored to share with you good news when it comes my way. Tonight we have two such accomplishments. First, Mr. Derek Newton of Chad's Plumbing was recently recognized by Skilled Trades Ontario as one of the first students to be enrolled in the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program. Mr. Newton has his well-earned certificate of qualification, and I want to take a moment to thank this individual for not only adding his expertise to our community in his field, but also for all the positive actions he's taken for Kirkland Lake throughout his entire life. So he certainly makes Kirkland Lake and community proud. Second, I want to acknowledge Marley and Jesse Robaza on the opening of Hear Right Canada and Robaza Chiropractic on Government Road. I want to thank these individuals for adding to the local healthcare network and caring for our community members. We wish you the greatest success. Next week, the town will be at Roma in Toronto for delegations. We will meet with Minister of Natural Resources, the Honorable Mr. Graydon Smith, regarding a rain monitoring system, and the Honorable Kinga Surma, Minister of Infrastructure, regarding flood mitigation, Hughes, the aging water distribution system, and McTavish Gull Lake securing the water supply. I will also be delegating to the Minister of Mines, Honorable George Prairie, with Mayor Beverly Natel, the Township of Dubreuilville, Mayor Fred Moda of the Municipality of Red Lake, and Mayor Michelle Boileau of the City of Timmins regarding a fair funding model for Northern Ontario resource-based communities. And that's all I have. So the reading, yeah.
See it resolved that the verbal updates for members of, of council be received.
All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item carried unanimous. Item number 12, additional information. There is none this evening. We shall now take a recess, a brief 10-minute recess before moving into closed. Thank you. We'll now reconvene to move into closed session. And I have item number 13, may I have a mover to move into closed session? Counselor Shabba, seconded by Counselor Ranger.
Be it resolved that council adjourn in camera pursuant to section 239(2) of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended to discuss litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local boards, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose, and a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board at 5:15 PM for the following reason. Item 13.1, insurance and legal update.
All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item carried unanimous. We'll now rise from in camera. Can I have a mover? Counselor Kylie and Counselor Owen as seconder.
Be it resolved that council reconvened, in open session at 5:35 PM.
Is that our son of you?
Oh, no, we're fine.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item carried unanimous. Item number 14, matters from closed session. There are none this evening. Item number 15, confirmation bylaw, 15.1 bylaw number 25-002, mover, Counselor Owens, and seconded by Counselor Owen.
Be it resolved that the following bylaw be read, numbered, and passed on by the mayor and municipal clerk, and the seal of the corporation be affixed thereto. Bylaw number 25-002 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held Tuesday, January 14th, 2025.
All in favor? Opposed? None noted. Item carried unanimous. Item number 16, adjournment, moved by Counselor Owen,